Hey guys, this is Orgo here. Welcome to Kika Podcast with me Alif.
Hello.
A lot of things happened in Indian football in this week. The Intercontinental Cup finally come to an end, and the World Cup qualifier draw also happened, and where India grouped with Bangladesh, Oman, Afghanistan, and Qatar. We'll talk about the World Cup qualifier draw later. First, let's talk about the Intercontinental Cup. So Alif, what do you think? How was the overall performance of Indian football team in Intercontinental Cup? Are you satisfied with the performance?
According to me, the overall performance was pretty sad in perspective of the fans, because we saw India losing two matches. The first against Tajikistan, which was we lost by 4-2 goals, and then against DPR Korea, that is 5-2 goals. But they put a pretty positive impact on the Syria match. And the most positive thing which I observed was that the exposure of the new generation Indian football players, especially the midfield trio, Sahal, Changte, and Amarjit. These people work very pretty decently in the midfield. और डिफेंस में हम कह सकते हैं कि नरेंद्र गहलोत जो कि सीरिया मैच में एक गोल किए थे, सिर्फ गोल नहीं, उन्होंने उनका जो कॉन्फिडेंस लैकिंग था ताजिकिस्तान मैच में, तो वो उससे वो उभर कर आए हैं। और जिस तरह से उन्होंने डिफेंड किया सीरिया के मच मोर फिजिकल प्लेयर्स के साथ, एंड राहुल बेके was pretty good as a center back.
If you look at in my opinion, if you look at the entire process, from the Kings Cup to the Intercontinental Cup, the new coach is trying to implement a new style. So, first of all, the biggest positivity which I got from this entire process is that he's giving chance to every player. I think only the third goalkeeper Lovepreet Singh, other than every other player, got some playing time, and they got some chance to prove themselves, and that is the biggest positive things. And as we all know, that coach is new and he's trying to implement a very new playing style, so I think he needs some time to implement that style. And the players also new in national team. Most of the players have played how many 3 4 5 or maximum 10 games, except Chetri, Gurpreet, Sandesh, and other than few experienced players, most of the players are new in the national team squad. So that is what making me most satisfied, that the most of the players are new and they are trying to play in new style, and which they successfully implemented in the last game in Syria. So that is the most positive thing. And if you think at the various part of the squad, in the defense, I think defense was quite weak in the first two match against DPR Korea and Tajikistan. Especially what I found that the defenders wasn't that much communicating with each other. If you think that in most of the cases, that defender must communicate with them that someone is going forward, and other player have to fill that void, and that must be done by communication. And that is the main problem happening with this squad. Maybe because they are inexperienced, and that's why eventually when they will play together few more days and few more matches, then the communication gap will close down, and the defense will look much more compact. And if you think about the midfield section, I think midfield definitely Shahal's inclusion is a big positivity. Everyone is looking him as like someone who's very skillful. His ball control, his movement, everything is so satisfying to watch. Whenever he's taking the ball and he's dribbling 2 3 players, that's so that thing we haven't seen since long time in Indian football.
Do you think Sahal has a chance for playing in European clubs?
I think he can try. Look, every Indian player, even
Changte is gonna trial for European clubs.
Even I think Indian players need to try in Europe. Even look at Chetri, who tried. He didn't get much playing time. Look, when you are playing in ISL, you have some reputation. Like someone like Udanta, when he's playing in ISL, that everyone knows Udanta is a great player. So when you go to the Europe, you have some reality check that you are not getting chance in the squad. You have to work more hard to get into the squad. The match you are playing against, the defenders also not giving you that much respect. I think that reality check needed. Look at Chetri went to the Europe. He went there, trained there, and he didn't get chance in the first 11 most of the time, but that eventually make him more mature player, that then he give his best in that period after that time. So I think every Indian player need to try in Europe. I mean, there's nothing wrong in trying, man. If you stay there for 1 or 2 years, that will be a big experience, I think.
Well, in the second match, we saw a banner which was removed which was against the FSDL or AIFF. What we can see. What do you think of that?
I think, yeah, that's a silly incident. I mean, fans will show their voice that you can't suppress them. I mean, look, what happened in that incident in the second match, the Blue Pilgrims shows a banner that something like money is more preferable than football with question mark, and the organizer certainly came to them and asked them to remove the banner, and they said, why should we remove the banner? And they said
Yeah, it's a freedom of speech.
yeah, definitely. I mean, they said that there's something which is what they say, slang in this banner or something like that. No slang was used there. They said just simply that is money is more preferable than football. They said no money. I mean, if they can Blue Pilgrims boys said that if they can give some reason to remove it, and they will remove it. They couldn't give. Eventually, in before half time, they just requested them to remove that banner. When they requested, the Blue Pilgrim boys said, "Okay, as you requested, we'll remove it after half time." Okay, they removed it after half time. And what happened in the second match? They do it in a more smarter way. They come wearing some T-shirt with written random alphabet on it, and when they show it, it was written as greed more than football with question mark, and that was something amazing. I think that look, you can't suppress the fans voice. I mean, the fans will come, and then look, Blue Films have given some immense effort to what I
या
can say.
उनका कंट्रीब्यूशन इंडियन फुटबॉल के सपोर्ट के लिए बहुत बड़ा
बहुत रहा
रहा.
है लास्ट 2 साल में. They are giving lot of effort, lot of money to look. In the last year in Intercontinental Cup, the environment they created, that's they created. That AIF didn't help them. In the UAE, they created such a huge environment for Indian football. That's what is shown by the star posts. That's what is shown by the media. The fans environment, which will attract the other fans to come in the stand, that is being done by Blue Films. And what you are doing, you are going to them and asking them to uh, remove the banner from them. What is that? I mean, look, every fan have right to protest against whatever they think is not right. And
That's what fans are for.
yeah, and the things happening in this country is not right. I mean, look, fans are really they don't know what is going to happen in next 2 3 years. I mean, the FC Pune City fan, there's Delhi Dynamos fan who don't know what is going to be their future. Eventually, it will happen to the clubs like
Even Delhi
ATK.
Dynamos are gonna shift their base to Bhubaneswar.
And that's the news. I mean, what is that? Is that shit thing? You think that Mohun shifting their base? Can you ever think that? You can you ever think that East Bengal
Yeah,
shifting
they are
their base?
incurring losses, so they wanna shift there.
No, look at the Pune. In last 5 6 years, the already hit 5 clubs, 4 clubs, I think. Bharat FC, Pune FC, Discus Divisions, and now FC Pune City are going to wrap up their operation from that city. Why is the sustainable model to have a city where football can grow? I mean, you have to have some model that you will promote the game in such a way that people will come. I mean, look, if you are going with football in Kolkata, Goa, Northeast, or Kerala, fans will automatically come. What about the rest of the cities? You have to do something that fans will come. Not only Pune, even Mumbai don't have that much impressing attendance. The Indian Warriors boys who played in Ambedkar Stadium, I think they played in much better attendance there than Kalinga Stadium in Bhubaneswar in last season. I mean, that's such a foolish thing to do. Okay, now let's talk about the World Cup qualifier now. India have drawn with four teams:
Which group?
Qatar, Oman, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh in the Group E. What do you think about the opponent of India in that campaign? I mean, what is the chance of India?
Well, if if people are considering as a group as a easy group for India, but I don't think it is not that easy because first are the defending champions of Asia Cup, that is
Qatar.
Qatar. Second is a much more tough team than India, that
Oman
is
will
the
be
Oman.
definitely tough team.
Oman, which is a really tough team. Afghanistan. The main problem of Afghanistan may be ranking on 149th, but Afghanistan has an history of defeating India.
Yeah, I mean, look, their players have better physicality,
Yeah,
and
and
it will
physics and physique much affects India. And
India is struggling over the time against the opponent of the Middle East and the Central Asian team.
then the next opponent is Bangladesh, which we desire to get 6 points.
Yeah,
तो पहला मैच तो सितंबर 5 को है,
ओमान
जो कि
के साथ।
ओमान के साथ है, वो इंडिया में होने वाले हैं। तो इस मैच में एटलीस्ट इंडिया को ड्रॉ के लिए जाना पड़ेगा।
If you look at the entire draw schedule, I think we have to target one team, that is the Oman. I mean, we are starting the campaign against them in our home. That will be the most important match. If we can win them, that will be best for us, and even if we can get 1 point, that will have a very positive impact on the entire campaign. I mean, look, then we have match in Qatar against Qatar, and in that match our target must be to concede as less goal as possible. Even if
We lose the match.
even if we lose the match, then if we concede 1 or 2 goals, that will be great for India, I think. I mean, look, we are aiming for the second place, where fourth second place team will go into the next round, and in that pace I think goal difference will matter a lot. So we have to consider as less goal as possible in the match against Qatar, and we have to score as more goal as possible in match against teams like Bangladesh or Afghanistan at home. I think that is the key point of qualifying.
द मेन पॉइंट, अगर इंडिया अफगानिस्तान को अगर हरा सकती है तो वो नई स्ट्रेटेजी के बदौलत है। तो नई स्ट्रेटेजी, क्योंकि अफगानिस्तान ओल्ड इंडियन लॉन्ग बॉल स्ट्रेटेजी को बहुत अच्छी तरह रीड कर लेती है, और जिस तरह से उनका फिजिक है, उनको लॉन्ग बॉल स्ट्रेटेजी से हराया नहीं जा सकता।
Yeah, we have seen in past that India struggled against Afghanistan in sub campaign a lot of time, and but look, we have played Afghanistan against Afghanistan last in 2015, and I think in that time the Indian team changed a lot, especially in mentality of the Indian team. I mean, look, we at that time when we used to compete with Bangladesh, Afghanistan, or Maldives, teams like that, Nepal and Bhutan, and if you look at the current scenario, we are playing against teams like, if you think in last 10 or 12 months, the teams India played against China, Jordan, then Oman, then in Asian Cup, Thailand, UAE, Bahrain, then in Kings Cup, Curacao, again Thailand, and then in Intercontinental Cup, it's Tajikistan, DPR, Korea, and Syria. I mean, right now, the Indian team is playing against much more stronger opponent, and we are not losing with any embarrassing result. Yes, we conceded 4-5 goals in first two matches of Intercontinental Cup, but we clearly know that in that two match, we had a defense which was less experienced, and coach was experimenting with that defense. But the mentality of the Indian team changed a lot in last 4-5 years, and I think that's what the key role will play against Afghanistan and Bangladesh. I think both Afghanistan and Bangladesh, we have to get 12 points. And if you look at Oman, I think we have to at least get 2 to 4 points against Oman. Then only we will have some chance to qualify in the next round. And if we qualify in the next round, then we will have at least 10 game against strongest Asian opponent, which will be massive. I mean, that 10 game will build the team for the next year. Okay, Alif, what do you think the preparation, how the preparation should be in between next 1.5 months? Because next first match in September 5, so I think the preparation must be done accordingly in between that time.
The preparation will involve basically the mixing of the experienced guys and the skill set of the new guys and the mindset of the coach. For the next 1.5 month, the preparation would need much more players involving in national camps because the leagues are starting, the small cups are starting.
Yeah.
I think the leagues are starting in October. Sorry.
Yeah, after I think Super Cup will start from September 15th after the first two match,
Yeah.
and leagues will start after that in
Yeah,
October.
so that will give a good time for national camping, and for the national camp, we can say that the new players will perform much more better.
Well, I think if you look at the squad, we haven't seen the safe first 11 yet. And I think in between that time, even if we spend some more time in the national camp, along with that, we have to play at least one or two friendly against Middle East team like Bahrain or UAE. Even if we don't get any national team, we can play against some clubs also, because clubs are right now in the pre-season mode, so they will be available for friendly. Because that what we'll do, that we have two opponents from Middle East and Central Asia, that is Oman and Qatar. So they have that physical advantage which we have to beat. So I think that will be the main aim to able to compete against them.
And it is seen that we can if Japan, a team like Japan can progress and beat teams who are much more physical, why can't we?
Okay, Alif, I think India have four match. First match against Oman in home, and second match against Qatar in away. Third match against Bangladesh in home, and the fourth match against Afghanistan away. What is your expectation from first these four match? What is the
On
what will be the
September
point?
5th, India faces Oman
Yeah.
at home. So my prediction will be going for a win or a
Definitely
draw.
go.
If India wins that match, it will be very much advantageous. If we concede less against Qatar or draw against Qatar, and
Draw
in
against Qatar, I think will be very difficult.
but India has to face difficulties.
Yeah, I
If
mean we have
need
to
to qualify.
our target against Qatar will be to concede as less goal as possible.
I am expecting a draw with Qatar.
Draw.
I'm expecting a draw with Qatar, and I'm expecting a win against Bangladesh as well as a win against Afghanistan.
How many points after four matches?
About four matches. If we if we draw against Oman, we will have 1 point. If we lose
But we have match against Qatar in Qatar. Away match it will be.
if we lose against Qatar, we got no points. If we draw,
I mean,
we win
it
against
will be
Bangladesh,
very
we get
difficult to draw against Qatar in Qatar.
Because
I
as we
think
are young-
on my point of view, I am being a bit more optimistic. I think we can beat Oman at our home and 3 points from there. Against Qatar, I think it will be very difficult to get a point. Even our target will be to consider as less good as possible, and if we can get a winning start against Oman or at least a point, then we'll definitely beat Afghanistan and Bangladesh. So my prediction, I think, will be 9 point. What will be the venue for the match in home game? I think the Salt Lake Stadium will be perfect one. I mean, look, India is playing World Cup qualifier in the first match. There will be more than 60,000 fans in the stand chanting for the team. That will be the perfect environment for the team. I don't know why I'm not choosing Salt Lake Stadium.
maybe Kerala.
Kerala maybe, but I have shortlisted two venue for this time. One is Mumbai Football Arena, another is Salt Lake Stadium. I think Salt Lake Stadium is going to get. And in Salt Lake Stadium, around 60,000 fans. It will not be easy to beat India for Oman. I think. I think that will be a great opportunity to beat Oman, and that will kickstart the entire campaign.
Okay.
Anyway, guys, thanks for listening to us. Keep listening us every week. We'll come with one podcast video where we'll discuss Indian football. And don't forget to subscribe our channel and also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Links are given in the description below.